So, hey everybody, it's Chuck Johnson, editor-in-chief of GotNews.com, most hated man on the internet. Here I am, yours truly, and we have a scalp today, ladies and gentlemen. We have a scalp. Who is that scalp? Well, you may have seen this blogger out there, Sooper Mexican. And Sooper Mexican is a blogger who has been around. He's been kind of a conservative blogger, Cuckservative, if you will. And he is kind of a prick in his social media presence. He's run around accusing people of being racist when they don't agree with him on various things. He has he's just been really aggressively nasty. And he's been extremely anti-Trump, and he's been against anyone who supports Trump. And he's been against anyone who differs from him on anything, really, and has been nasty, making sex jokes, just being a real vicious, malicious person. Well, today we uncovered who he is. His name is Donal Turrentine. It's D-O-N-A-L, Turrentine, T-U-R-R-E-N-T-I-N-E. And Donal Turrentine is he's an IT guy. He lives in the Pacific Northwest, slightly near Portland, Oregon. He's married, and he is a farmer and a religious guy, and we busted him. We found out that he was, in fact, being Sooper Mexican. So Sooper Mexican, this blogger that's attacked people for racism and all the rest of it, he turns out to have been a white guy. And the thing that makes this story even funnier, just on a procedural level, is that yours truly, your humble correspondent, Chuck Johnson, reached out to Donal Turrentine, aka Sooper Mexican, a few years ago, to offer him a job. And hilariously, he attacked me for claiming I was a racist. And it was really kind of interesting, just kind of like seeing the mind of the cuck, seeing the cuck as the cuck really is. And he has been running this website, SooperMexican.com, and we did the who is, we looked up who actually set the whole thing up, and it was, in fact, Donal Turrentine. It's kind of interesting. I mean, here's this guy who advertises his wares as a IT guy, as a really smart kind of IT guy, and here he is turning out to be a white guy. I offered him a job back when I thought he was a Latino guy, because I thought his research skills were awesome. And we will, by the way, continue to offer jobs to anyone, all comers, all races. Although I happen to think that like really good researchers tend to be of a certain atypical behavior, which tends to follow more in Jewish and Northern European white. But nonetheless, there are exceptions, and happy to entertain them. At Sooper Mexican has finally admitted, he hasn't quite admitted that he's Donal Turrentine, but he has deleted his, if he hasn't deleted his account, he has finally, he put up a tweet, and he essentially saying that he's closing down his account. And so it's interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how to feel about this scalp, frankly. This is a guy who has attacked me for being an idiot. This is a guy who has made up things about me in the past, stolen my research in the past, and claimed it as his own. And he has been live-action role-playing as a Mexican dude. He has a Rachel Dolezal problem. Now, what does this larger thing say? What does this larger thing reveal? Well, I think what it reveals is it shows the willingness of a lot of Cuckservatives out there to not see race as a real thing, and to basically fake being different races for political advantage, which is not all that different than whites pretending to be black for college admission. And this is kind of where we're going right now in our culture. We don't really have we're really in this sort of fucked up state, frankly. And it's really disturbing. I mean, it's really, really, really disturbing, because for the Cuckservatives, they believe that race is basically a social construct, that it doesn't really exist, when in fact it's a product of an evolutionary process that's ongoing. which has been revealed through sex selection. Read The Red Queen. Highly recommend that book. One of the more influential ones. Read The 10,000 Year Explosion by Henry Harpending and Gregory Cochran, the late, great Henry Harpending. Got to read these books. You got to understand that race is real. And so I was looking at the speech patterns of Sooper Mexican for quite some time, figuring out that these are not Latino speech patterns. These are not English as a second language speech patterns. Now, what's interesting here is that it implicates filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza. And Dinesh D'Souza is sort of this figure who did two movies, one about how great America was, which was kind of like whatever, frankly, it was a whatever kind of film. The other was about Barack Obama and how supposedly Barack Obama's anti-colonial past more or less made it, or Barack Obama's father's anti-colonial past made it, so that Obama himself was anti-West, anti-Western. The only problem with this, of course, is that Frank Marshall Davis is in fact Barack Obama's father, which D'Souza knows because he talked to friends of mine who had already been researching the topic. But nevertheless, never miss an opportunity to promote yourself, and that's more or less what Dinesh D'Souza did here. And here he is using a blogger by the name of Sooper Mexican to make an argument for why Latinos should be conservatives. You've heard the arguments for a long time. Latinos are natural conservatives, although that's empirically not true, as Ann Coulter and others have demonstrated for years. And so what's interesting here, why I find this story kind of funny, is it goes to how hostile and against the rise of this new growth of bloggers like myself, researchers like myself, how angry people are. And I want to read you the final tweet that Sooper Mexican did. It's, "I will be closing down this account. Thanks for everything." How interesting. How revealing. So, been very, enjoyed some of the comments on this. Thank you for the donations that have been coming in on it. It did take a lot of work. And yeah, I've been having a good time. If you ever find some interesting stuff, be sure to send it along. Always looking forward to busting big stories, and always looking forward to breaking big stories. And just so you know, Donal Turrentine, aka Sooper Mexican, has been scalped, if you will, by gotnews.com and yours truly, and the help of all the painstaking researchers who want to remain anonymous. And by the way, just so we're clear, I don't really have a problem with people being anonymous on the internet. I think it's your right to be anonymous. I don't really have any objections to it. I don't dox people just to dox them. It's not my style, as the kids say. But I do think that when you're running around attacking people from behind a shield of anonymity, when you're calling them racist and accusing them of sexual improprieties, you got it coming. And I'm going to be there for you. And my team's going to be there for you. And we're going to continue to fight them every step of the way. So Sooper Mexican, Donal Turrentine, supposedly a great, yourcomputergenius.com being your website. You've been scalped. Hope you crawl back under whatever hole you came from and stop live action role playing as a Mexican who's conservative. It's not going to work anymore. It's just kind of pathetic. So, all right. Thanks again, and email me if you like these videos, editor@gotnews.com, and let's chat more.